Hello everyone, how you going? Welcome to English pronunciation brand name differences. Now every single country is going to have their own unique way, their own unique accent, and some might just be different because of copyright titles and things like that, but let's just see.
For the US, definitely Apple. For the UK, I think it's Mini Cooper, but it's technically German, but there's British flags everywhere.
Yeah.
So I'll say Mini Cooper, but it's German, but it's okay.
Is Holden or Ford? I think they're Australian car. I don't know why I can think of only car brands.
Well, I can only think of alcoholic beverages from South Africa. Your wines, your Benini. Well, they probably are brands, but they're smaller. They're not like sold internationally. No, I can only think of wines.
Well, at first I was caught off guard because I was going, surely there is no other way for you to pronounce Apple. I was going, it's Apple, it's the brand name. Even in countries that don't even speak English, they still call it Apple with their own kind of inflection. But then of course they were going through and naming a brand that represents your country, and it's interesting to hear because the USA has such massive brands and so many of the biggest brands in the world come from there. But I guess to be fair, Apple is certainly up there. I guess otherwise you might have Google, Tesla, Facebook, all those massive conglomerates, and then it really just is quite limited otherwise. You know, Australia going, I can only think of car brands, and they're not far off besides maybe Vegemite.
So in the US, we would say Diet Coke. And I think in South America, they have Coke Light. In the UK, we also call this Diet Coke.
Australia too, we call it Diet Coke.
We just say Coke. We just say Coke. It doesn't matter whether it's Diet Coke, Light Coke, Coke is Coke.
Whatever you say.
It's all soda.
What if you want diet though?
We don't actually have Diet Coke in South Africa. We have Coke Light. I've never seen Diet Coke, but just say Coke. We have Coke Zero as well, but even Coke Zero is Coke.
I mean, look, I get where she's coming from. As a general name brand, you're not going to go, oh, this one is Diet Coke. You're going to go, no, it's a part of the Coca-Cola family, aka it's Coke. But at the same time, I am now wondering if you do really want to distinguish and go, no, I don't want the sugar, I want the whatever sweetener it is, diet version, the non-sugar version. How do you do that? Because you can't just say Coke, because I'm sure the red can will show up. As if we have a look, what does Australia have? We have Coca-Cola Classic. That's interesting that they have to call it Classic. Then no sugar, Classic again, no sugar again, the vanilla of course, diet soft drink. See, that's where I get confused about what is the difference between diet and no sugar, because that's what I was talking about with the zero sugar, was changed to no sugar because people didn't understand what it meant apparently. And then you can even get a caffeine-free one. I must say I did not know that, but I guess it certainly makes sense. But I feel as though if you're going for Coke but no caffeine and no sugar, surely just drink water or something, for goodness sake.
People who hate Coke Light and Coke, I cannot stand Diet Coke. It tastes like absolute garbage.
We generally call every Coke, actually every cold beverage is Coke.
In the US,
Wait, what did I just hear? Did I just hear her say every Coke or every cold beverage is Coke? I mean, the subtitles do say actually every cold beverage is Coke, but I need to listen to it again because that just sounds ridiculous. How can you be calling, I don't know, every single cold drink, how is it going to be Coke? I just don't understand. You know, I was talking about before, how do you differentiate between all the Cokes, but what happens once you include the rest of them? How are you going to be, oh, can I just have a Coke? And all of a sudden a Sprite turns up, or a Fanta, or a Passiona, or all these different things. You're never going to get the real message across.
in the US, we say soda, but there may be certain states that say pop. Majority of people in the US say soda. In the UK, we generally call it fizzy pop. Usually we just specify which kind, Coke or Fanta, but the general name is fizzy pop.
In Australia, similarly, we call it fizzy drink or soft drink.
Oh, we also say both of those.
Either say Coke or we say cold drink. We don't call it soda. No, just cold drink.
But what if it's not cold? I mean, I guess most people are having a cold, but it's not always cold, especially if you don't have an esky around, especially in South Africa, because it's not like it's just, I don't know, -6 degrees all the time. And so I'm still just bewildered as to how you can call every soft drink and every cold drink, if you want to call it that, Coke. It just sounds ridiculous, but hey, I guess if an entire country runs like that, good on them. I mean, I did find it interesting and funny that as soon as Australia said, oh, we've got soft drinks, we've got fizzy drinks, the UK went, oh, hang on a second, we've also got those. So I can only imagine that we pilfered off them, but I don't know if they would go to the same extent of just calling it softies. You know, you have fizzy drinks, soft drinks, and just softies if you really just want to be a little bit relaxed about the entire thing.
We don't call it soda. No, just cold drink.
You just say it and they just bring you whatever.
Yeah, and they're gonna bring you what you guys know as soda. They won't bring you any other cold drink like juice or the smoothie or whatever. They will bring you that fizzy drink, which is cold drink.
But there's more than one though. I don't understand. How can you just say, oh, they'll bring you the one that you just call soda? Because soda is an all-encompassing thing between Fanta, Sprite, Coke, Passiona, like I said. I'm sure there's a Pepsi, there's a million of them. And so how can you just say, oh, they'll bring you the one? So maybe they only have one. Is that what I'm gathering from this? So by just completely off the mark, I don't know.
So in the US, we would say McDonald's, but where I'm from in the Northeast, sometimes people call it Mickey D's.
In the UK, we would call this Mackie D's or just Mackies. That's cute.
Yeah.
In Australia, we call it Maccas.
Wow.
Maccas.
I'll be confused. In South Africa, we call it McDonald's or McD's.
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 It's short.
Yeah.
McD's.
Yeah.
Similar to Mickey D's. In the US, we would say Burger King or just BK.
BK?
I guess. Yeah.
Wow. It has to be popular enough for people to shorten it. I mean, we don't have Burger King. All I know is Hungry Jack's is like our Burger King.
Burger King is
Hungry
Burger King.
Jack's.
It hasn't been around for that long for us to shorten. So
Right.
yeah.
That is something that I hadn't particularly thought about before. How long does a company have to be in a country, and how big does it have to get before someone just goes, stop saying your full name, man. You're too long. Let's just smack it down into Maccas or McD's or whatever you want to call it. I mean, I feel as though some countries definitely embrace it a bit more than others. You know, I've heard them say Mickey D's and MacD's and Mickey's and all those kind of things, but I've never seen anyone talk about it on a sign where Australia just went, we've got Maccas. Let's just make it Maccas. No worries. Everyone's going to know what you're talking about. You got the golden arches. You just slap Maccas down below, and that's what the new brand name is, which is pretty insane and pretty unreal that an entire country kind of banded together, not on purpose or anything like that, but just was able to get an entire brand to change their name within the one country.
I guess in the US, we would just say Dove chocolate.
In the UK, this is called Galaxy. Galaxy chocolate, Galaxy bar.
What is that?
In Australia, we also call it Dove.
I've never seen this chocolate in my life.
Oh, interesting.
I need to see what this is. Dove chocolate. What are we going to have? We've got... Oh, okay, I guess I've seen it, but I honestly don't know anyone that has ever bought it, and even though I kind of recognize it, I don't think I've ever had it, and that's the other thing I was going to say, is when they first said Dove, I expected it to be the, whatever you want to call this, like the shower shampoo kind of brand, not the chocolate brand, especially because as we see here we go, we got so much better things. You got Cadbury, for goodness sake. Sure, the UK, of all people, knows about Cadbury, so why would you be getting Dove and all these other random ones when you can get the top dog?
Well, Cadbury is popular, and then you have all the other chocolates that they make in Cadbury and Milky Bar. Yeah, your Ferrero Rochers, your Lints, those are popular.
There we go.
No.
So what are they talking about?
They never came to South Africa, and we need to have a talk about that. Oh my goodness, no, it doesn't exist.
She's cut.
You're so sad about it.
So upset. Like, I'm addicted to Hershey's, and we don't have it in South Africa, unfortunately.
Well, there we go. Exactly what I was just saying. It's just been wrapped up once again. Whoever buys Dove chocolate, even the American was going, they brought up Hershey's all of a sudden and just ditched the Dove out of the entire conversation. I mean, she definitely seemed a little bit cut that Hershey's wasn't in South Africa, and I'm trying to think if I've ever had a Hershey's or a Reese's. Is that the same thing? I honestly don't know, and I don't think I've had it either. Maybe, I don't know. But either way, I feel as though if I'm just going to be going for straight chocolate, not a choc chip Vicky or anything like that, I'm just going to be going straight for that Cadbury block. Nothing else beats it for me.
We don't have it in South Africa, unfortunately.
A lot of people say that Hershey's chocolate is... I don't know. A lot of people I heard on the internet say that it's like a low quality chocolate.
What? You don't like it? Oh.
Yeah.
No, I haven't had it since I was a kid, but...
There we go.
Okay.
So
That's because from what I've heard, it's basically American chocolate, and American chocolate just doesn't use the same kind of ingredients, if you want to call it that, from the base form. And so when you're coming from a UK perspective, like I said, having Cadbury and I guess the Lindt and all those kind of ones, of course Hershey's is just not going to be up to par because, well, it's just not. I don't care if she's cut about it or if she's just addicted to it, you just can't get over that original taste. Whatever it is, from whatever country you were from, just that original taste is hard to be beaten. And I'm not sure the exact ingredients and what the Americans put in compared to other countries, but I do know that for so many different food products, this America just slaps so many extra chemicals that are banned in other parts of the world, for goodness sake. And so I understand why the UK just pulls a face like that, because like I said, nothing beats the Cadbury and the Lindt. Come on.
So in the US,
Lay's.
this is Lay's chips.
In the UK, these are Walker's crisps. Yeah, in Australia we call them Smith's chips.
Are they
Yeah,
all
that's
the
just
same?
a tongue twister. Smith's chips.
Smith's
Yeah,
chips.
right.
In South Africa, it's
Smiths.
just Lay's chips. Yeah.
We friends. crisps.
my gosh, I would murder a packet of Walker's salt and vinegar crisps right now.
Oh, salt and
Love,
vinegar.
Love, love, love. But
I miss salt and vinegar.
Every country, they have like slight
Yeah.
recipe difference, I
Oh,
think.
that is.
Yeah, once again, just all the different chemical compounds that the USA just loves to put in, but I did not know that Lay's and Smith's and Walker's were all the same company, or are they not? And they're just kind of comparing two very, very similar brands. Here we go. Are Smith's, Walker's and Lay's the same? Frito-Lay, I guess it's the owner, or someone pretty much has the world potato chip market wrapped up. Smith's potato chips are disguised as Walker's crisps in England and Lay's chips in the USA. Frenchie, I'm not even going to attempt that in Argentina. I'm not even going to attempt that one either. Definitely not that one or that one. But I guess Smith's wasn't even mentioned in that entire thing. But I guess, wow, they are really just going after every single name brand, aren't they? And look, I will definitely agree that salt and vinegar is an absolute S-tier flavor. You know, it's not everyone's taste, but if you are into that entire life, just good on you. And you just have to make sure you don't have too many of them because it can ruin your entire tongue.
When I went back to the States and I tried some of the Lay's chips, it was way too salty. Because I haven't had those salty kind of chips in years. So when I had them, I was like, oh my gosh. So in the US, this is Frosted Flakes. I love this cereal.
Gross.
So good.
So good.
So good.
In
What
the
is
UK, we
this
call these
sugar?
Frosties.
We also call them Frosties in Australia.
We call them Kellogg's.
Oh.
Kellogg's cornflakes. It doesn't matter which Frosties or it's Kellogg's.
It's just like the soda.
But what if you want Frosties but you get given cornflakes? I would be so sad.
Oh,
Yeah, exactly.
Honestly, I'm gonna have to look up this one as well because I can't even tell the difference. Geez, I feel as though I've never seen or heard anyone talk about it, let alone I don't even know if I've seen it on the shelf at all. I mean, for goodness sake, it only has a 2-star health rating, which is pretty darn low considering a cereal is meant to be, in my eyes, fairly kind of nutritious to start off the morning if you're going to be going down that path. But like they were saying, what is up with South Africa just going, yep, Kellogg's, you know, it doesn't matter what it is, you just say the brand name, whether it's Coke, and it doesn't matter what type, whether it's Kellogg's, doesn't matter what type, because look, if we search for Kellogg's, you have so many different types. You have Cocoa Pops, Corn Flakes, Nutri-Grain, you got Crunchy Nut, Sultana brand, Cocoa Pops, I don't know if I said that, Fruit Loops for goodness sake, Rice Bubbles, the list just goes on and on. All brand, Special K, Just Right, and its entire range of like 19 different ones, Sultana brand, like it just goes on and on and on. And so I cannot believe that you can just say, pass me Kellogg's and just expect to get Frosties or whatever you want when there is this many different options. I do not understand how people communicate in South Africa. It is honestly unreal. They must be some kind of telepaths or something.
So in the US, it's called Good Humor.
What is that?
So weird.
I don't know why.
What are we
First
talking
time
about?
today. Wow.
Interesting.
In the UK, we call this walls.
Whoa.
In Australia, we call it streets.
You got the walls and got the wall, the streets, and then I'm here laughing.
In South Africa, we call it Ola.
Hola.
We're talking about ice cream.
Yeah. Like, what are you guys doing?
We
Like,
are
why
good
do you
humor
want-
ice cream.
You know, just eating. It's like have a laugh and eat some ice cream. I'm sure it like
That's
goes with the
unreal.
marketing and commercials, maybe. Wall in a street and
That is just so bewildering as to why all of these companies are just branching out into such diverse names. I mean, maybe there's a little bit of international tax dodging going on because they just kind of shove some into Good Humor, some into Streets, some into Walls, and then some into Ola, and they just move on with their day. And it's not even like they're along the same vein. I mean, I guess like they said, Walls and Streets are pretty similar, but it's such a random object to pick, let alone Good Humor. For goodness sake, that one's just completely random. Honestly, I think it goes from right to left in terms of which one makes the most sense. You got Ola, yeah, I'll take that. Streets in terms of you can walk down the street with an ice cream. Walls is getting a little bit just left of field, and then Good Humor. What? None of it makes any sense to me, and I guess that's completely fine because what do I know compared to these companies? You know, they have so much market research, and if it was that critical, I'm sure they would change their name. And it's interesting that they didn't change their name, or you change your name based on the country, based on all the market research. That's pretty insane as well. And so I'm now wondering which one was actually first, because I feel as though for a lot of these, it's kind of a 50-50 split between the USA and the UK.
Well, in South Africa, we usually have ice lollies that are produced by this company. So we don't have a lot of ice creams made by this company. They are delicious and expensive.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I guess like it's been obviously like a very, very long time for me. So I had it when I was a kid, and there's a lot of different kinds of ice cream that they make. Yeah, I remember it was good. It was really good. It was really popular back then when I was a kid.
My favorite one that I'm pretty sure it's by Streets is Paddle Pop. It's like on a stick and it's like a milky, different There's like banana, rainbow,
Absolutely.
chocolate, vanilla. I'm pretty sure there's streets. But yeah, paddle
Speak
pops.
to me. Let me just say this. If you have lived in Australia for more than one summer and you have not had any of the flavors, any of the different types, banana, caramel, rainbow, whatever you want to be calling it, chocolate for goodness sake, the good old classic, if you have not had one of those during an Australian summer, I'm fairly sure it's against the law for goodness sake, because they are so good, they are such a staple, and they make a mozza out of them because everyone buys them for like $19 from the server down the road, but it doesn't make it any less good. The only other ones that even pretend to come close are Calippos and Golden Gay Times. Golden Gay Time I think is probably the all-time favorite ice cream. It is absolutely unmatched, and then a Calippo is a little bit different, but it also serves its own purpose. Here we go, like I said, Golden Gay Times absolutely unmatched. You know, you got chocolate, nuts, caramel, ice cream, you've got it all. That's why it's about $40 down at the servo compared to $19 for the paddle pop. And then this right here is a Calippo. Even though it looks a little bit too rainbow to be consumed right there, these are absolutely unmatched, and they are more of an ice lolly than an ice cream, so that's where you're just getting a bit different. And actually, in terms of them saying that all the top tier ones are made by Streets, Good Humor, Walls, or Ola, it absolutely makes sense because Calippo right there, as we can see, made by Streets, and then also Golden Gay Times made by Streets. And so what can I say, they absolutely are top tier, with this one probably being my favorite, backed on by a paddle pop, then a Calippo, depending on the mood.
Maybe good humor.
Good humor, right?
Yeah, what?
We were all just so different.
Oh yeah.
It's not very catchy. Good humor. Would you like some good humor ice cream today?
That
Sure.
sounds British.
I never even realized it. Like, I had to think for a moment and be like, wait, what is that? Oh yeah, the ice cream.
Yeah.
Why did we call it that? I don't know.
I think the most interesting is like, what do you guys do?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
For
We
everything.
usually generalize, like if there's a good brand of something,
Yeah.
we call it, that's
Just
what we'll
everything
call it,
is-
yeah.
I'll keep that in mind. Go to South Africa.
But listening to that, I am now curious as to how far and wide does this entire thing go? Because we found out Coke, sure. We found out Kellogg's, sure. But does it just continue for every name brand ever? I certainly hope not, because that must be an absolute nightmare just having a shopping list going, I want Kellogg's, and you go, which one? I want Coke. Which one? Like, you just never have anything. You just have basically aisles called Kellogg's, aisles called Coke, and aisles called Nestle, and that's the entire shopping center done.
I learned a lot of new terms, new brands, that there's actually more than one word. Brands that we can actually recognize. That was interesting.
Just like how different some of the names can be. Chips, that ice cream, just totally different. Where do they come up with the different?
They just saw a street and they're just like, you know what? Sure.
Or a wall, and they were like, okay, that fits for ice cream.
It really is as though the first thing they saw, heard, or interacted with just became the brand name. You know, oh, someone had good humor, so we'll name it Good Humor. Oh, I see a wall, that must be the name of the brand. Oh, a street, that's what we flew over when we came in. Or Ola, when someone just arrived at the airport, and that was 4 names right there. Done. Easy. They don't have to be creative. They don't have to do any of the market research. They just go, yep, no worries. That's what people say around here, so that's what we'll market it as. It's, I guess, genius in that regard. But look, like I said before, it is amazing that every single country has its own little nuances that make it home to all the people that live there. You know, that everyone goes, oh, I recognize that brand, but that isn't exactly what I've seen it as before. And you go, oh, hang on a second, that is a little piece of home that I certainly didn't expect from here. And that's fine, because you get Lay's, you get Walkers, you get Smiths. It's all the same stuff, just by a few chemicals on the USA's behalf. And so for me at least, it is always interesting to hear how everyone is living the same parallel lives, just under a different naming scheme. And even though some people might say, oh, well, that's a horrible thing because that means everyone is living under the same company's umbrella, at the same time, there has to be something that unifies us. And whether it's chips or chocolate or ice cream or whatever else it may be, at least we can all just share the same thing and go, yep, I respect your choice. But anyway, in saying that, I reckon I'm going to call it there. So thank you for watching this video. If you did enjoy it, feel free to do the YouTube algorithm things down below. Also, if this is the first video of mine that you're watching, then make sure to go check out any other ones I've done. Also, make sure to go check out the original video down in the description below. Or hey, maybe you even just want to consider subscribing so that you don't miss another one of these in the future. But all in all, have a good one and see ya.